So, okay, remember from our previous slide that building the house of the future. This is the link to the first video, so please feel free to watch the rest of the videos. There's 5 videos in total. Okay, so the leitmotif of building material, innovation in Finland from commercial technology, exploitation to sustainable development. Okay, the leitmotif is a recurrent theme throughout the musical or literature composition associated with a particular person, idea, or situation. Basically, the same idea from the production line to the end product. Okay, that's where the name comes from. Then the manufacturing industry is known as a producer of wood, paper, mineral, metal, rubber, plastic products, machinery, electrical components and systems, automation, equipment, and so on. The following subsectors can be identified. We've got the manufacturing of builders, carpentry, joinery, manufacturing of bricks, manufacturing of cement, manufacturing of articles like concrete, and then cutting, shaping, and finishing of ornamental building stone, and then manufacturing of structural metal products, etc. Okay, then we've got our little intermediary position of building products in the industry and the value chain. So this, guys, is very important. You must be able to discuss this little diagram or flow diagram. Is basically your minerals or mining, your basic elements that is refined and used as a product. Okay, so for instance, just having a look at extracting and refining industries is e.g. minerals, metals, wood, petroleum, basic materials of the industry like stone, steel, aluminium, etc. Then it's refined into advanced composite materials and building products, for instance windows, boards, cables, etc. Then advanced technical systems and components, automation systems, elevation, boilers, machinery, etc. Okay, then they are fitted in the construction industry, on-site activities, and for complex projects. So you can see it's very simple, but you must be able to discuss the flow from the actual mineral to the production and then finally the fitment. Okay, so sustainable construction is the creation of responsible maintenance of healthy built environments based on resource efficiency and ecological principles. When considering the impact, eco-innovation can have a resource of energy efficiency, and then the most gains are to be made when tackling the upstream or production part of the supply chain. Okay. Then looking at the case forms of description of innovation in cases of environmental content. So firstly, this is our table 13.2. You've got your company, and then you've got your context and drivers of innovations in the main phases of innovation activities. And then you've got a product innovation with innovation objectives and so forth. So I just took an example. You can find the rest of these examples on page. Just pardon me. I'm just quickly paging there. On page 189, you will find just a history. This is now the companies that the research looked at, and then on table 13.2, this is where they actually started evaluating the companies. So let's look at the Parma and its predecessor. So Parma is a specific company. Its portfolio and prefabricated components for residential multi-story buildings in 1970. So that's where they started, and fitting with national building systems that was created through joint efforts of stakeholders, etc. And then the products and national building systems were adopted to offices and other types of buildings in the 1980s, implemented of ICT started in the midst of the 1980s, and in the 1990s the TIKIs, if you want the acronym, I don't know exactly for what it is, program for the industry expanded the portfolio's advanced design methods and strengthened the development of BIM. So in the 1990s they had a program to develop the design of these fittings. Then the product or innovation that they compiled was an eco pile, which is a systematically pre-stress driven pile that has an improved length and capacity with less cement. The reduced weight allows more efficient transport, which also reduces embodied energy. So guys, what I want you guys to do from this table is basically read through it. It's very important for your discussion purposes. These were some of the innovations that some of the companies took. It was driven by certain elements and it had a certain innovative product as a result thereof. Okay, so basically continued. Then looking at the next table, on table 13.3 we look at Palmer again. Innovation drivers and challenges was they had a demand and rapid low cost of building that they had to produce. They had to stay relevant in the market, and then the product technology support services assisted them in it. And then looking at the environmental case, the eco-pile for fundaments, I presume this is foundations, were produced. The innovation benefit that it produced was it reduced the material use and reduced energy use and thus the CO2 emissions. Then the adoption of sustainable drivers, the case was developed for environmental objectives and it is a new type of product that was created. So you can see where they came from and what the influence it was that created this new product. And thus you can read through all the examples that's listed there. But then the conclusion of the chapter is this chapter changes the notion that innovation is based solely on the technology and scientific developments and persuade by firms in focused attempts to increase competitive strength and profitability. The firm's behavior are not simply about maximizing profit, but their activities and their innovation efforts are matching current thinking on what is crucial for the industry and the society as a whole. In addition, not only because of the activities at the level of organizations, there seems to be a new motivation for moving towards environmental responsibility, because it is understood that this undoubtedly will be instrumental in promoting the reputation of firms and the sector as a whole. One can think of a firm like Apple. Apple stated, Steve Jobs' goal was to put the best of everything into the MacBook and the iPhone and so on. He constantly pushed the boundaries, and today the stuff that we've got in smartphones and the quality of computers that we've got is a direct product of that. So the same thing happened with all of these examples in this chapter. So that's where that comes from. So please read through this. It will give you a lot of nice discussion topics for the exams. Yeah, so please go through that, and please remember, if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'm going to post the memos of this year's tests for you online as well, so that you can have a look, both the residential and the distance students. Thanks.